This is the fourth in a series of 4 video storyboards. Part 4, Future of Local Government, Strategic Options Facing Councils, Implementation of Cloud. In Part 3 we explain the strategic partnership that the MAV has established with Telstra to build a sector-wide cloud service. In this storyboard we will explore why cloud is such a strategic issue and what options councils have in establishing it. As discussed, technology will change the way we do business, but whether or not this becomes a benefit to councils will depend upon how councils choose to play the game. In particular, how they collectively manage their strategic response to cloud. The question is not whether councils should migrate to the cloud, but when and how. Cloud as an architecture is important, not only to councils, but also to the vendors. IT vendors in particular will want councils to migrate into their cloud. Why? Because it makes a lot of business sense to them. Vendors can make sure that councils are always on the latest software. This has several benefits. Councils benefit from the latest functionality and performance. Therefore, they're more inclined to like the software. The developer can monitor how users use the software, what works, what does not, and respond. They can continuously improve the product. No longer is there a need for annual updates. Improvements can be incremental and continuous. As a result, councils are always operating on the latest and greatest version of the software. This has a massive impact on the traditional 4 to 7 years renewal cycle. The need to go to tender to purchase new systems is significantly reduced. There is also a substantial amount of soft lock-in. This occurs as councils become dependent upon all of the other applications that sit in the vendor's ecosystem in their cloud. Just as with vendors, there is a significant strategic advantage for councils also adopting cloud architecture. Cloud is a key enabler in facilitating effective collaboration, which, as suggested earlier, is one of the key strategies for improving councils' capacity, capability and credibility. However, the effectiveness of cloud as a platform for collaboration is heavily dependent upon the interoperability of the things we are collaborating on. Interoperability requires a common understanding of the data and the business processes. Without a commitment to standards, interoperability and the benefits of collaboration will remain a pipe dream. If you can establish standards, then cloud provides an effective platform for collaboration. So cloud is of benefit to both vendors and councils. The crunch comes in the business architecture and the commercial arrangements of your cloud structure. Just as in the physical built environment, a good architecture gives rise to a vibrant community that grows in innovation and diversity. Let's consider 2 possible options. I don't claim that these are exhaustive or necessarily the way councils should go. Rather, they provide an example of the range of architectures available. In option 1, we will consider a vendor-centric model, where all of the councils that subscribe to a particular vendor cluster around the vendor's cloud. There are likely to be multiple different vendor clouds. Most likely, these will be clustered around the ERP systems such as Technology One or Civica, but they will also include one-off applications such as fleet management or CRM. They could also include services like Microsoft Office 365. Councils won't be connected to just one cloud. They will most likely have multiple relationships with many clouds. The local government cloud, used for collaboration amongst councils, would then negotiate with each of these vendor clouds to gain access to the data and the processes that were needed to support collaboration. Now that all looks quite simple, but the term cloud is generic, and in practice there are a multitude of data standards and protocols that exist in layered technology stacks. Interoperability is far from guaranteed. The challenge for the sector will be in negotiating access to these data feeds in a format and standard that is usable. Traditionally, this has been difficult and costly, so much so that it has seriously hindered several previous attempts to collaborate. Under this model, each new link into another cloud increases the potential complexity of developing a strategic platform for collaboration. An alternative strategic option would be for councils to establish a single link to the local government cloud. This has an immediate benefit in reducing support costs and local complexity. All of the vendors would then be responsible for developing links into the local government collaboration network or cloud. Whilst the change may appear subtle, the implications for interoperability and commercial viability are significant. Vendors could either place their services on the local government cloud or establish a secure link into their cloud. On its own, a local government cloud does not automatically guarantee standards across data and processes. Councils could simply log into their local government cloud and pass seamlessly into the vendor cloud. Have we achieved what we're looking for? Probably not. What's required is a commercial agreement that if councils are going to move into the cloud, the vendor needs to commit to supporting open access to council data from the local government cloud. This does not force vendors to locate their software on the local government cloud, far from it. Vendor systems can still function wherever they want. In the first instance, all we require is that data is shared. As we progress and share more front of house services, we will require collaboration around business processes as well. The value is that councils can now share a common view. We can build shared intelligence to support regional and statewide collaboration. There's an additional benefit in that it partially mitigates the lock-in of vendor cloud services, as the data and processes can, in principle, be transitioned from one provider to another, albeit that process is still quite involved. But more importantly, it helps promote competition, innovation and contestability, which most vendors will welcome. The way forward is not immediately obvious, and leaders of the local government need to consider carefully their options. Neither option that we have put forward compromises the vendor's benefits, but the two architectures are likely to have quite profoundly different outcomes in facilitating collaboration amongst councils. However, a council-centric model is readily undermined if councils choose to act independently rather than as a sector, as currently experienced by Queensland. There are other factors that need to be considered, such as what it is that councils will collaborate on, what are the priority areas, what is the low-hanging fruit. However, we will leave these for a discussion in the workshop. This concludes the fourth in a series of 4 presentations. Thank you.